In our first story, 3 final year students of a senior high school in Tamale and their accomplice have been charged with conspiracy to kidnap and assault of another student of the same senior high school. The fourth, Inusa Mohammed, Idrisu, Abdullah Adam Bak, and Sadiq Nemdo, and Mohammed Mubarak Isahaku are all aged 21, and they had allegedly kidnapped the boy and locked him up in a house at Kuko, a suburb of Tamale, and they were demanding 600 Ghana cedis from his father. Correspondent Martina Bugri joins me on the phone with more. Martina, we understand the father of the victim effected the arrest of the 4 suspects. Tell us how he went about that.
They had called him persistently demanding for 600 Ghana cedis.
Hello, Martina.
Yes.
Yes, you were saying that they called him repeatedly?
Yes, they had called the father several times asking for the money. And so the father called the police and then laid a complaint. They agreed to pay the money. And so in the process, they liaised with the police. And when they had met to pay the ransom, the police effected the arrest of the 4. And then they also subsequently led the police to Kuko, a suburb of Tamale, where the 19-year-old victim was locked up, and then he was rescued. He was brought to the police station and given a medical form because he had said that throughout the night they had assaulted him. And so he was sent to the hospital, and then the doctors confirmed that indeed he was assaulted. The 4 were charged, and then, but because they are final year students, they were asked to, they were released to their parents to allow them to write their final paper today and then to appear in court tomorrow. One other suspect is at large, who Agada is called Kadri of the Tamale Technical University, and so the police said they are on a manhunt for that other suspect.
How is the victim faring now?
Agada is doing fine. He's also writing, and so he's in school now. The police said they are protecting his identity because they do not know if there are other accomplices in this case.
So where are the suspects now?
The suspects are also in school. They are currently writing their final paper today. That is the social studies paper. And what I'm told is that as soon as they are done, they'll be handed over to the police for them to go to court tomorrow.
So are they writing the papers under police supervision?
They were handed over to their parents who stood for them, and so they are not under supervision of the police.
So who is making sure that after the papers they'll go back to the police?
I didn't get that, Daniel.
I am asking, is there anyone who has been assigned to make sure that after the papers they go back to the police?
My source at the police station says that they have an eye on them and they would be able to pick them up.
Thank you very much, Martina. But before you go, Martina, we understand with relation to the Chirponi issue, this NHIA officer who was caught carrying arms into the area has been, well, there have been some updates in that case.
Yes, he was sent to court this morning, and he's been remanded by the Tamale High Court. He pleaded not guilty to the charges of possession of ammunition without valid permit. And the judge, His Lordship Richard M. Kadipo, granted him, committed him to prison custody.
Thank you very much, Martina Bugri, for joining us with that update. Hundreds of residents from 4 Anlo communities in the Anloga district this morning took to the streets to demonstrate against the police over their inability to unravel the mystery surrounding the serial killings that have bedeviled the area for the past 6 years. They are also of the view that other leaders of the area are not doing enough to bring the canker to an end. Here are some of the demonstrators.
We are here to demonstrate against the killing of people in Kita. In fact, today all the youth are ready. They all come out to demonstrate against the killing. In fact, my own sister was involved. Last month, she was killed in Kita here. So today you want to remove, all the youth are happy today that today you want to remove our heart feeling to the whole Ghana and Angwa as well.
Well, we are told you are demonstrating against the police because they are not proactive, or probably they are not working enough, hard enough to get the killers, the alleged killers. Is that true?
In fact, when it happened to my sister up to now, I've not seen any result to show that yes, they have found a justice today. But every day is happening. Yesterday, it nearly happened again. So because of this, we want to come out and demonstrate.
Still live on Journey today. We'll take you back to the Volta region soon, but former President Jerry John Rollins is currently speaking at the commemoration of the June 4 revolution. Let's hear him now.
As a way of pleading with them to recognize and appreciate the value of life and the dignity of their own South Sudanese people. We are reminded about the abuse of power by so-called leaders and headsmen all over. Nyamime, Nyanwake Pope Francis, the Pope, Neo Vatican, Nyanwake Kotojwe, Ekuashi, ni eke enabu, kiss, mediji, anaji. Now me was Patrick. Two leaders from South Sudan. Ni bemo hewo, ame bemen boy, begen bi ye, can he be? Now feno, ni peace, abamete, kate, kabonye ko, ama megbo, amegbeme, meni nyo amese ji meni gbo. Ake esani, wa Pope Francis nita Vatican, one of the most pious, respected personalities in this world. Akotoshi, ekanto, afoshipo, ne genabubaya shipo, ne kiss nye aspatre. Ah, there you are. Nyamime. Wanya wanyamiko atole. Ibn Chambers. Akalag Meheko to oversee West Africa's security, the conflict issues. Boninie Bale. Maybe he should take a cue from Pope Francis. But Nanumba Yojile, Bejameje. That aboy no moeko e ya jame ni la we ku ansieko ne cha echokosi gbeme na numba gbeme kokomba gbeme ni ekenabu asho amebuza here, and to appeal for peace amongst them. If Pope Francis can do it, surely some of us can do it here too. Jedane wabata officer ni will enjoy air conditioning the sweet life keke. Cut away from the sweat and the difficulty and the pain of their lives up north. Anyway, man may here be a neck. Honey, go bluffo me, ya. Cody, a bluffo chairman, Nicola Magan, I'm a butry. Nkawa Yami comrade Ibn Chambers, Nick Namnumba, who comes from Nanumba, could take a cue from his eminence and attempt kissing the feet of some of the Chokosis, the Kokombas, and his own Nanumbas, and appeal and beg for peace, the way Pope Francis did. Nyamime, fellow countrymen, while we are thinking about how or what to do to ensure permanent peace among some of the warring factions or areas in our country, I would like to use this opportunity. I would like to use this opportunity to remind our brothers in South Africa of the role we have all played in the past to bring about the change in that great country. Just as we were contributing to their liberation, the apartheid regime was also financing treacherous black Africans to disturb us, to destabilize us in our countries. The time has come for the South African authorities to enhance our security, or the security of those who supported and stood by them in their struggle, by exposing the traitors who worked with apartheid South Africa, by exposing the traitors who were paid to misbehave in black Africa. These traitors ought to be exposed as they continue to treacherously parade themselves as patriots. It is not unheard of for certain African nationals to collaborate with Western governments to rape their countries of its resources. However, collaborating with an apartheid regime was not only unconscionable, but extremely reprehensible, extremely repulsive. Ladies and gentlemen, listen again. A couple of months ago, my name was all over the news as one Alhaji Yusuf reportedly forgave me for the demolition of his hotel because he believed I thought he co-owned it with Sam Jonah, and also that he was financing an opposition party. Far from the truth. In the first place, he is in no position to forgive anyone or anything, nor even the bush rats in his own hometown. God had nothing to do with unlawful structures, neither did he have anything to do with enforcing the law. Governments appear to exercise no restraint when it comes to breaking down poor people's structures in waterways or unauthorized areas. Big people, however, seem to be above the law and are untouchable. If time were reversible, I would do it again and again. And I will take along their new gargantuan structures in the waterways. Incidentally, the structures were reported on by his own respectable, law-abiding neighbors who recognized the potential harm the building could cause. And to think that I am accused of ordering the demolition because I had a bone to pick with his Sam Jonah. Oh, Sam Jonah, by the way, is not unknown to have a treacherous and greedier appetite than your little hotel. I'm not sure the misuse of my name will win you any sympathy. Your financial claims and that granted by the court was overblown, but that's how your kind makes business with politics. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another very important point. We have let the rot in our countries and our continent go unchecked for so long. We have held our noses and watched some extremely terrible leaders subject our people to the worst of suffering, left them to slaughter each other based on ethnicity and religion, year in, year out. This is not only peculiar to other nations, but to Ghana also, to the extent that we have, by omissions or additions, allowed the rot to destroy the moral fabric of our society. Fellow countrymen and women, there are many constitutional clauses that do not serve our interest. Over the years, the indemnity clause has emboldened certain characters to abuse their offices and profit massively from them, or profit themselves. It is quite evident that a lot of our people are losing confidence in our constitutional mandate. The Constitution of the Fourth Republic was created by us, for us, and to serve us. And in light of the 25 years, there is an unqualified need to reform or rewrite our current Constitution. An urgent Constituent Assembly ought to be established with the necessary powers to rewrite this Constitution. Their job would involve reviewing all the constitutional clauses, especially the problematic ones, like the transitional provisions, the indemnity clause, amongst others. This will ensure that everyone is equal before the law, encouraging transparency, accountability, and responsible governance. The Constituent Assembly will hopefully embody the character of the Ghanaian people towards fashioning out a developmental agenda that is devoid of blind party allegiances and unscrupulous political promises. Our journey towards a developed nation rather ought to be an entrenched provision. In line with our, in line with our theme for this year, that is developing a national character for sustainable good governance. It is about time our developmental conversation was one that included a forward sustainable goal aimed at future generations' access to clean air, water, and the environment. Our discipline of today guarantees our sustainability for tomorrow. Our current sense of self-discipline is at its lowest ebb, and I must thank the other speakers for drawing attention to this. Citizens do not feel responsible enough to keep their homes and communities clean. Many of us who lament about flooding during the rainy season are very guilty of the indiscretions that lead to the deadly floods. We dump refuse indiscriminately and wonder why drains choke. Some actually see the rains as an opportunity to dump refuse, believing the rainwater will sweep them away. If we continue this level of lawlessness, we are bound to face more serious flood disasters. The key to our development is a heightened self-discipline in our approach to our everyday life. Let us all do a thorough introspection and identify where we fall short, because we all do fall short one way or the other. Fellow comrades, I entreat you all to remember the discipline that emboldened us to execute June 4th and to replicate it on our roads, in our classrooms, and institutions. If we do not develop a national character for sustainable good governance, we would have failed this generation and especially generations yet to come. Is that the legacy we wish to bequeath the future? Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude, let me, on behalf of all of us, Christians, etc., congratulate and our traditional believers congratulate all Muslims for the successful conclusion of the period of Ramadan. Your 30-day period of fast is aimed at cleansing us of our sins and renewing our relationship with Allah. As you break your fast with the Eid al-Fitr festival, we all join you in giving thanks to Allah for His generous guidance and protection. Eid Mubarak to all our brothers and sisters. And before I say thank you and God bless you all, big people must learn to be a little more truthful. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very much. Thank you.
Hello.
Thankfully, it stopped at one. And Yami Bio Amina, Lahun lawyer Gile. Lahun le FAD Egbese. Ship a Quadibi a study. Amina, Choba here. Himbeneka kwemi. Oh, you no go feel you more.
Oh, fine, Derby.
You more anu. You no go feel you more low. Oh, fine, Derby. Come on, you more learning more from one.
You need to translate.
No, say it in God the way you just said.
Oh, fine, Derby.
Say it into the microphone.
Oh, fine, Derby.
Oh, you are done. Show it. Okay, Nyamime. You are done. Is that Nyashia? Nya no go feel. Can June 4th. No friend you here. And a time here. Media people. Ananu fair Nyanulo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Former President Jeremiah John Rollins there. We stay with the subjects of revolution because exactly 40 years ago today, junior officers in Ghana's army rose up against their senior officers in a bloody uprising that replaced the FWK Ekofo-led military regime. As we build up to the second special assignment series on crimes that shook the nation, titled Scars of the Revolution, here's an excerpt of that series.
I had wind that he was going to be executed that day. Somehow, the explosion occurred that day. He was rescued from certain death. And to become leader of June 4th. And go on to become leader of the AFRC. But only for him to turn around and betray June 4th. I mean, I can't take this lightly. It's unforgivable. Jerry Rollins organized and took arms to overthrow Ghana's Third Republic.
Okay.
It was not only a treasonable offense, but it was in clear breach of the key June 4th principle of military non-interference into politics.
That was a key principle.
It was a key principle. And let's face it, can any Ghanaian seriously convince me that Jerry Rollins, the apostle of probity, accountability, and transparency, can today stand the test of those principles? Absolutely not.
I was writing my O-levels when I learned that my father had been killed. It was terrible. My father was very strong. He was a soldier's soldier. And it's very difficult to imagine him lying dead. It's weird, it's strange. But then reality sank in. I had to support my mother emotionally I was the eldest of the siblings around. And it was just very difficult. Our whole lives, turned upside down. We've always lived in the barracks.
I see.
So home was in the barracks, but there was no home to come to because my mother had to leave. It was very dangerous, so she had to leave. Found herself with friends, and the house was completely ransacked and looted, and everything was taken away. One didn't go as far as one could have done.
Away from that and back to that demonstration that residents of Anloga in the Volta region have embarked on this morning. Our correspondent Ivy Setoji has been following the demonstrators who are protesting the strange deaths of some 25 people over the past 6 years. Ivy is on the line. Ivy, what's the latest with that demonstration?
Well, right now, the demonstrators, that's 4 communities in the Anloga district, namely Jita, Agbadomi, Atitati, and Anyanui, have just presented their petition to the DC for Anloga district, Mr. Seth Yomago, who also promised them that this petition will get to the president so that something is done about the serial killers. These people are asking the police to do their best to stop these killings. According to them, the police are not doing their best. They are not doing anything to prevent the killings. Anytime someone is arrested, they release the person and tell them that it's either the person is mad or they have not found anything or any evidence against the alleged killers. So this thing has been disturbing them for some time now. According to the assemblyman, that is Braz Dejo, between 2015 till date, 25 people have been killed and buried at various locations in that locality, those 4 communities, which is very worrying. And so today, they embark on this demonstration without the approval of the police because they want to, according to them, they want to do their own thing. They want to do their best to see if the government authorities can listen to their pleas and then stop this killing.
Thank you very much, Ivy Setoji, for that update. Now, the Boko Central MP, now moving away from that issue, of course, the Boko Central MP, Mahama Ayariga, says he will later today appear before court to insist on his immunity from being summoned before court during sitting. He will show up with a letter from the Speaker indicating MPs have privileges. The Boko Central MP earlier requested on the floor that the Speaker rules on whether an MP can be summoned to appear in court while the House is sitting.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I instructed my lawyers to be in court and to inform the court that today Parliament is in session and sitting, and it is the reason why I'm unable to attend court today. And when the case was mentioned and all the other accused were arraigned, I was absent. And my lawyer informed the court that I am in Parliament and unable to attend because Parliament is sitting and in session and sitting. And I'm informed, Mr. Speaker, by my lawyer. So far, a warrant has not been issued by the court. I'm informed by my lawyer that the court insists that I should appear before it, but I am waiting to be guided by you, who is also here the custodian of this house, its rules and procedures, and the integrity of this house so far as the Constitution protects it. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm ready to go to court at any time. I'm waiting for your guidance. The Constitution is clear on the matter that I cannot be forced to court when this Parliament is sitting and in session. It will clearly amount to an infringement of Article 122. Article 122 binds everybody, Mr. Speaker. It binds the executive, it binds the judiciary, it binds Parliament. So it is a constitutional provision that is not subject to anything, unlike other constitutional
The Speaker suspended sitting before he could rule on that issue. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us live with more. Joe, what were the arguments advanced by Mr. Ayariga, and what did other MPs have to say about it? Unfortunately, we've lost Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, and when we do get we do establish the connection, we will bring you that story. It's time for business, though, and the Bank of Ghana has pledged it will extend the cleanup exercise in the financial sector to community and rural banks after the microfinance sector. Outcry is standing by.